of the International Secret Police.
Ceiling zero. Ceiling zero.
Speed Gibson and his uncle, Clint Barlow, ace operator of the International Secret Police, have returned to police headquarters in New York with an official report of the death of the Octopus, world criminal number 1. Rather than be taken alive, the Octopus jumped from the plane when they were over the Himalayas and disappeared in the clouds banked below. Speed and Clint brought back his right-hand man, Quan Wu, as prisoner, and delivered him to Chief Riley. We find the boys in his office now telling the chief of their many adventures in China and Tibet, and also explaining the absence of Barney Dunlap, the third member of the trio.
You see, Chief Riley, Barney got to feeling kind of sick right after the Octopus jumped out of our plane. At first, we thought it was seeing him fall like that made Barney feel funny.
Yes, Speed, I can understand how Barney felt. It's not a pleasant thing to see a man fall to certain death, even though he is the most dangerous criminal in the world.
But it wasn't that after all, Chief Riley.
You see, sir, the weeks previous to that last flight had been a tough one. We didn't get much sleep and didn't eat regularly while we were on the trail of the Octopus. And it just got to be too much for Barney. When we landed in India, he picked up this native fever somewhere, and first thing we knew, we had a mighty sick man on our hands.
Gee, I'll say so. He was delirious. Didn't even know Clint, and they've been pals for years.
We called him the first doctor we could find, and he hustled Barney off to an English hospital.
It was a swell place.
Yes, those English hospitals have saved many a life in India.
The doctor said that Barney must stay absolutely quiet for several weeks. This native fever was dangerous to a white man, and even during his convalescence, he should be near medical aid in case of relapse. Well, we had to get back here with our report and prisoner immediately. So there was only one thing to do.
Leave Barney in India and fly back here.
Which is exactly what we did. And that finishes our report, Chief Riley. You have all details of the case in the written report I've turned in.
Yes, Clint. And I want to congratulate you, Speed, and the absent Barney, on the splendid job you did of driving the Octopus out of Asia.
Not only out of Asia, sir, but the whole world. He's dead, you know.
Yes, it seems impossible that a man could jump from a plane high over such mountains as the Himalayas and still live.
Well, I, for one, was never so glad to see a case closed as that one, Chief. I've been on the trail of the Octopus for a long time. Almost seems too good to be true that we finally know he's done for.
Will Barney be mad when he gets out of his delirium and finds we went off without him? He wanted to be here with us to make a report to Chief Riley.
Well, he'll be over as soon as his health permits, Speed. But he's probably making life miserable for his doctors and nurses in the meantime.
Well, I'll give you another good assistant, Clint. Smiley Preston.
Smiley? I'll say he's a good man. Why, But wait a minute. Why do I need an assistant right now? Speed and I are going on that long postponed vacation.
No, Clint, I can't let you go just yet, even though you've certainly earned a good rest.
What?
What?
Well, I'll explain everything as soon as Smiley gets here. I've sent for him. He should be here any minute.
Who is this Smiley, Clint?
Oh, you heard me mention him often, Speed. He's the laugh of the service. Comes from Alabama and looks half asleep most of the time, but he's deadly as a cobra when he goes into action.
Yes, and he knows Africa like a book.
Africa?
You mean you're sending us down there?
Oh, this must be Smiley now. Come in.
Hello, Smiley.
Did y'all want me, Chief?
Yes, you know Clint here.
Clint? Why, Clint Barlow, you old razorback. I thought you were leaping around somewhere in China or Tibet.
I just got back yesterday, Smiley.
Uh-huh. And this is your nephew, that Speed boy? Say, fella, the whole service is talking about you and what you've done.
This is Smiley Preston, Speed. We went through training together. He's one of the best. And don't let that grin of his fool you. He's always doing some pretty serious thinking behind it.
Oh, don't let that man tell you things like that, Speed. Well, I'm mighty glad to meet y'all.
Me too, Smiley.
The Chief? What's this all about now?
Yeah, what's this about sending us to Africa on some crazy Atlantean business?
Huh? Atlantean?
Well, suppose we begin at the beginning, boys. You see this briefcase on my desk? Well, it's full of data concerning a business enterprise that calls itself the Atlantean Syndicate.
Well, surely this concern has no connection with Atlantis.
Yes.
The lost continent of fabulous wealth and supermen?
Well, it claims to have, Clint. This syndicate has offered positive proof of the existence and exact location of Atlantis.
Mm-hmm. But who'd believe 'em, Chief? Adventurers have been hunting for Atlantis for centuries and centuries, and nobody's been able to prove anything about it yet.
10 of the wealthiest men in the world believe the syndicate. Believe them so well that they've invested enormous sums of money in the syndicate to finance the expedition that is to uncover the lost continent in the Sahara Desert.
Sahara Desert? In Africa? But I always thought that Atlantis was supposed to have disappeared beneath the ocean.
And that's the general supposition, Speed. But persistent rumors have been coming out of the Sahara. The Atlantean Syndicate sent out a small expedition a year ago to trace down a story told by a French explorer who died before he could return to his discovery.
Gosh.
Now, this expedition brought back 3 items. A peculiar helmet, a cup of pure gold studded with precious stones, and a strangely shaped piece of granite which bore the name of a famous queen of Atlantis.
Say, that sounds like they found the real thing, all right.
That's exactly what our clients thought, Clint. They're all hard-headed businessmen, but the Atlantean proposition rang so true that they unhesitatingly backed it. That was a year ago. Since then, they have been approached again and again for additional funds to carry on the work, and have received nothing in return but vague promises.
Mm-hmm, I see.
Consequently, they have begun to suspect a gigantic swindle. They have asked the International Secret Police to begin a quiet investigation. Now, I want you to take charge, Clint.
And go to Africa?
Yes. The Atlantean Syndicate headquarters is located there.
Why, we've just returned from Asia, sir. Can't someone else handle this Atlantean investigation? It sounds like a routine job on the surface.
But, Clint, don't you realize the enormity of the thing? The story of Atlantis is almost a legend. It would take almost positive proof to interest such men as our clients in the expedition at all. Now, if it is a swindle, it has been planned by a mastermind.
Yes. If I hadn't seen the Octopus jump from the plane with my own eyes, I'd almost believe he was in back of the syndicate.
The Octopus? Man, I thought you said he was done for.
What's the matter, Smiley? Don't you want to go after him?
No, sir, not me, boy. I'll track anything from lions to dinosaurs, but not the Octopus. No, sir, he's not human.
I don't think you have to worry about him, Smiley. But, Clint.
Yes, Speed?
The Octopus was wearing a parachute like the rest of us on that flight. Do you think he might have pulled the cord after he went through that cloud bank? Do you think that might have saved his life?
Oh, not a chance, Speed. Even if he had used his chute, where could he find a safe landing in those mountains?
And even if he did land safely, how could he live long enough through the wind and snow of those altitudes to reach civilization?
Yeah, but we saw him do lots of other things that nobody else could do.
Oh, forget it, Speed. No matter who's behind the Atlantean Syndicate, it isn't the Octopus.
But can't we take the investigation anyhow, Clint? Gee, I've always wanted to see Africa.
Well, it won't be no pleasure trip, boy. I'll tell you that right now. It's mighty hot down there, and once you get out of town, you're always dodging snakes and crocodiles or animals of some sort.
But that's all adventure, Smiley. I'd go for it in a big way. And if this Atlantean Syndicate is on the level, golly, just think, we'll be in on the biggest discovery in ages.
Well, don't try to sell the idea to me, Speed. Clint's the fella that don't cotton to it.
Gee, Clint, won't you accept the investigation? Gosh, I've read so much about Africa, its jungles, belts, and the Sahara. Golly, it'd be great.
But if you've read all about it, Speed, you must know that Africa is dangerous for white men. Even now, in this modern age, it's still the dark continent once you leave the coast.
That's right, Speed. Central Africa, where I've spent most of my time, is known as the white man's grave.
Yeah, but we made out fine in Tibet, and that's known as the Forbidden Country. What's Africa got that Tibet hasn't?
Well, just to mention 2 things. Black magic and cannibals.
Oh.
Ask Smiley. He's lived down there.
That's right, Speed. You can still find cannibals if you look careful. And black magic? Well, you don't have to look hard for that. It's all around you in Africa. But don't let me talk you out of going. After all, I just work here.
Well, after listening to all your talk, I'm wondering if you want to work here, Smiley.
Oh, now, Chief, you know better than that. But you picked me for this detail because I knew Africa, so I have to tell him the truth, don't I?
Yes. Well, now, Clint, you're my ace operator, and you've just come off one of the hardest assignments that I could give a man. Consequently, I'm not ordering you to take charge of this Atlantean investigation, because I know if you don't honestly feel you want to tackle it, you have a good reason. But I wish you would see your way clear to go to Africa.
Well, that isn't exactly my idea of a vacation spot, sir.
I see. Well, if that's your answer, I'll have to assign it to someone else.
Oh, gee, Clint.
I was going to send you over in the new plane, too.
New plane, sir?
Yes, we've just completed testing it. You'd be the first one to use it. It's larger than our pursuit planes, carries 6 passengers, has a wider cruising radius and enormous fuel tanks, a bimotored amphibian.
Boy, that sounds like a honey.
And you ought to see the super shortwave equipment she carries, boy. It's so powerful that, well, I'm figuring on picking up Mars or maybe the moon any day now.
Changed your mind, Clint?
No, I'm sorry, Chief, but I'm tired and...
Oh, just a minute. Hello? Yeah? A cable from Africa.
Joe, are you there?
Yeah, no, save time and read it to me now. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah? What? No, hold the reply until I call you back.
What is it, Chief?
Anything wrong, Chief?
That cable is from our operator in Morocco. In code, of course. Buchanan has disappeared.
Who's Buchanan?
One of the largest stockholders in the Atlantean Syndicate. He went down to Africa a few months ago to do some investigating on his own, in spite of my warning. Now he's gone. And the last trace they've had of his appearance was in White Man's Grave, Smiley, Central Africa.
Oh, me.
Evidently, he'd located some information in the interior. A scrap of paper was found in his belongings, and on it was the mark of the octopus.
Oh,
Gee,
Octopus?
wait.
But he's dead.
Yeah, well, perhaps one of his lieutenants is carrying on the work. Remember, Speed, his criminal organization is worldwide. Perhaps his disappearance has nothing to do with the Atlantean Syndicate, but it looks mighty suspicious.
I'll say it does. When do we leave, Chief?
Clint, you mean you'll go to Africa?
I can't rest until every tentacle of the octopus is destroyed, Speed. Yes, we'll go to Africa.
Whoopee! Africa, jungles, the Sahara, lost Atlantis, and maybe the octopus again. Gosh, what are we waiting for, fellas? Let's go!